Good evening, it's Thursday, August the 2nd, and I'm starting this week's video in a field of P7211HR near Labroquerie, Manitoba, which is just entering the R3 or milk stage, where the kernels are turning yellow and we have a really good idea what the yield potential of this crop is at. With limited rain over the last couple of weeks, we've been getting quite a few calls about drought-stressed corn, especially in that Kleefeld and Grenfell area, and that's going to be the main focus of this week's video. Drought stress can affect the synchronicity between pollen shed from the tassel and silk emergence from the ear shoots, which leads to reduced rates of pollination. At this point in the season, it's critical that you go out there and select multiple ears from various parts of the field, carefully remove the husk cover, and do the shake test, as this will let you know what the pollination rate is at. This information is critical to making any management decisions from here on forward. So I've moved 14 miles west to a field of P7527 acre max, which seems to have missed every single rain so far this summer. We have access to crop health index maps using Encirca Pro for this particular field, and have been monitoring the decline in health over the course of July as drought conditions have taken hold. Right now, I'm in a low-lying part of the field which shows great crop health, and we're just starting to see some leaves that are rolling up, but the plants are still completely green and there's great yield potential remaining in this part of the field. In part of the field, which shows up as green on the map indicating reduced plant health, we see plants that are visually stressed by the drought, with rolled up leaves and the bottom half of the canopy which is starting to dry off. In this part of the field, when we pull back the husk covers, there's incomplete pollination as well as some tip back starting where the kernels are aborting because there's not enough moisture in the plant. There's still about 50 to 60% of the yield potential remaining, but this field is going to need rain extremely soon if we're going to have a successful grain corn harvest. Here on a gravel ridge, in one of the hardest hit parts of the field, the tassels are out, the pollen's been shed, but there's a minimal amount of actual cob pollination that's taken place. So this part of the field will not meaningfully contribute to the final grain corn yield. However, that doesn't mean that this stand has no value, as the dry conditions also mean that there's a number of livestock producers who are looking for high quality feed to ensile. A stand like this will average about 1 ton per acre per standing foot of corn. It's important to remember that although the leaves are starting to dry off here, the stalks themselves are still filled with moisture, and it's going to be critical that you wait until the whole plant moisture is below 70% before you think about coming out here with a forage harvester. Another helpful tip is that these plants are filled with yeast as well as residual sugars right now. So this is a great opportunity to maximize your silage quality by using a high quality forage inoculant like 11C33 or 11CFT. Next, we're going to take a look at soybeans in the area just to see what's going on there. I'm back in our soybean product knowledge plot near Kleefeld, Manitoba. The plants in this particular field have been showing some drought stress over the last 2 weeks. They're basically done flowering and really starting to fill out those pods nicely. Any rain that we get over the next 2 weeks will help to increase that seed size and thus build yield. So far, we haven't seen a lot of insect pressure in the soybeans in Manitoba. However, it is early August, so we're likely to see soybean aphids really starting to show up. There are a couple of patches in this field, as you can see in front of me here, where the plants are lower, in poor health, and are starting to lose their leaves. Upon closer inspection, this is actually being infected by spider mites again, which we saw last year. It's probably best to monitor these areas in your field to see how fast they're spreading. And thus, you could time an insecticide for once those soybean aphids are in the field as well. Please remember to use a product like Saigon and Ligon, which will actually have control on these mites. Next week, we're going to take a look at some of the better crop in our area, in the areas that have received more rain. But thanks again for watching this week's video, and if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call.